Hi, this is Barbara Lardney from Hannah's Cupboard. Now, the writer of the question asked me this: a human father wouldn't permit evil, so I don't think our Heavenly Father would either. And in our last segment, we talked about the fact that God's ways and thinking are higher than ours. So, what can happen to us is that we can come to conclusions, just like this reader did, that said, I don't think God would permit evil. And yet we do see evil in the earth, and so we wonder, how did that happen? I'd like to go back and explain why that might have happened by going back to creation and the decisions that God made about how he was going to make us as his creation. He had to have made the decision about whether or not he was going to permit us to have free will. That is a very, very powerful decision. And he decided that we're going to have free will. He also, being sovereign, he could have interfered with it at any time, but then it wouldn't have really been free will, because it would have been very hit or miss. I'm going to let this person's free will play out, but I'm not going to let this person. I'm going to interfere here, and I'm not going to interfere there. I think that we have to understand that since God said we could have free will, and since he so respects us and so respects that decision, he will let things play out. But I think what we have to understand too is that never stops his sovereignty, because his will is higher. Here's the fabulous thing about God, and I think something for us to really ponder, and that is that our free will never prohibits his ultimate will from being done. So all through history, everything that has happened, he is still weaving all that we do, and every decision that we make, and every decision that that countries make, and as we go through different periods in history, all the different things that happen, he's still on track with his will. Now, how is that possible? That's a much better question, is to think about how fabulous a God it is who gave us free will and yet is not inhibited by our free will in the way that that plays out. I think that might be a better way for us to think about the evil that's in the world. God partners with us in many ways. There's a part that God plays, and there's a part that we play. But as that moves along, he still gets done what he wants to be done. And in the end of history, when it all looks back, it's going to be marvelous to see how he never violated our free will, and yet his purposes were fulfilled in the earth. I hope that that's a new way to think about that for you, and thanks for listening.